Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Adobe Live, still live from OFFF in Barcelona, and this is the last guest of the day, but I'm super happy to welcome Henri.
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice to have you on Adobe Live.
Thank you.
This is your first live stream?
First live stream, so I guess a bit nervous, but should be okay.
Yeah, and he can be nervous because after he will be, like right after the live, 30 minutes after, he will be on stage presenting the work of an amazing studio, Dogstudio, that I know for a very long time. I actually visited the studio in Namur.
Yeah, where to go, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
it was a very long time ago. You were still using Flash, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was the good days.
Yeah, the good days.
When it was like kind of easy to do crazy things on the internet.
We have Simon who says, "Yo, Namur." Hi, Simon. Thanks for watching. Hello, Julia. Yeah, let us know where you're from.
Yes.
Namur is in Belgium. Sorry,
Yeah,
we have to explain.
Explain. So basically, the agency is based in. So headquarters are in Namur, Belgium. We have offices in Brussels as well.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know. That's good.
Basically, we started this year because we felt like it was complicated for people to drive around.
For the customers.
Yeah, exactly. No, for the team. We wanted to make sure the team was comfortable, that every day they could come at the office like peacefully, and so there's a lot of traffic, so we opened Brussels. And last year we opened Chicago as well.
Chicago?
Yes.
Oh my God, look at that. How many people in Chicago?
So far, 2.5, I would say. One of my partners.
Is it more for like a business, or it's?
No, we really like growing, but it's just that it's first year, so we went slowly. And I'm doing the back and forth between Chicago and Belgium. Yeah.
Wow, this is awesome. So Henri, he really works for. So Dogstudio is, in my opinion, like what I call like a talented small shop where you really create like amazing experience, amazing websites, some mobile apps or no?
We do. We don't. Yeah. Mostly, we don't do development in house, but we keep on doing UX and UI. Yeah, sure. And
they get multiple awards. We were live actually from awards in Berlin in February. And I think you have over like maybe 20 awards. I mean,
we're like 20, 25 on awards and like 15 or 16 FWA. So we've been stacking over the last years. Yeah.
So top quality. So I'm really excited. So maybe if you want to show some work, so they can understand what you're doing, you know.
Sure.
And I will keep track of the chat if they have any questions about web design, UX design. Yeah, just let us know.
Wait, I just lost my screen.
You lost the screen? Okay.
Right.
Oh, let's unplug and plug again, maybe. Okay, let me try to fix. Okay. It's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Getting back.
HDMI.
Great.
Okay.
It's in.
Audio is in.
Perfect.
And the volume, okay.
So, I just did a small selection. The thing is, right now we're rebranding and redoing the website.
Okay.
So this is why it's maybe not the perfect best time to show us the website, but I guess there are a few projects. Maybe so that you have kind of a global view, the show reel from last year. So the last projects are not in there, but I'm going to talk about them on stage later on.
It's not like 2013?
No, it's 16, so it's pretty recent if my computer wants to open it.
Yeah, if VLC.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have the audio, I think.
Great.
Yeah, they have the audio.
Wow. Yeah, so pretty quickly you have a lot of web in there. This is for the MSI, Museum of Chicago, the Kick Festival. I'm going to come back on it later.
Yeah.
Kennedy Center in Washington, which is a big cultural center.
These transitions, my God.
Spoke about it.
Here we go.
Yes.
Music apps?
Music app, for a good startup in Israel. This is a campaign against cyberbullying, which has been a big topic over the last years.
Yeah.
This is a TV channel. So we're pretty broad in the kind of projects we're handling. Every time there's strategy or design or development, it's something that we're going to try to tackle. We like challenges. Maybe to go back and give a bit more background, I spoke about the Kick before.
Yeah, I was speaker at the Kick Festival, like maybe the first or the second edition. It was a long time ago. But now it became huge. It's a huge
it's been pretty big, it's the 8th year, I think, this year in November. So basically we run our own festival and it's a lot of energy. The positioning is a bit different than the OFFF. It's more like digital cultures in general. But so the thing is, we started this 8 years ago, and every year we redo the branding from scratch,
Okay.
which is a cool challenge, and I would say an expensive one as well. But so this is the identity for last year, which was the theme was, so every year we have a theme.
Okay.
So this last year was invisible narratives, and we tried to do something based on that. And so this key visual leads always on the rest of the work, which typically would be, of course, the website. This is kind of a screencast.
And you have like attendees from all over Europe?
Yes, actually all over the world. It's,
The world?
I think we have like 40 plus countries now attending every year, 18,000 people.
18,000 people.
18,000 people, yeah. It's maybe spreading. It's some people start to reference it as the European South by Southwest, because the more it goes and the more we make a takeover of the city. And this year is going to be even bigger because we're going to make installations all over the city, so it's going to be pretty great.
And what you're showing now is the website.
It's the website, yeah, from last year.
Yeah, it really shows the style of Dogstudio with always like paying attention to details, very smooth animation, lots of easing. Yeah.
This is what we try to do. Like detail for us is like 90% of a project getting into the details. This is what was going to make a difference. This is why people are going to remember the website. And 1 year, 2 years, 3 years after, and say, yeah, you were the guys who did the website with the gorilla on the water.
Yeah,
and
with the ray of light. I mean, it's beautiful with the reflection, like in the header. It's like
so there was a lot of
beautiful
thinking about how to make it work and how to immerse.
Yeah.
So I would say this is kind of a one side of the company, which is more like creative websites. On the side of that, we have things like the MSI that we briefly saw in the show reel.
Yeah.
So this is the Museum of Science and Industry of Chicago, which is a pretty huge place. It's I think 400,000 square feet of museum. It's huge. You cannot do everything in one day, so you have basically to plan
you have
your
like
days.
an entire ship in the museum?
They have a German submarine in the building. It's been captured by the American guys by during the Second World War, and they kept it. And now it's fully in the building. You can visit it. You can go around. It's pretty crazy. And so we've been commissioned to redo the websites. They wanted it to be more immersive, more inviting for potential customers to come and take a ticket.
It's amazing. And so what is the story between like this customer and you moving to Chicago? Like, is there a connection?
Actually, there is. This is the first main Chicago and client we had.
Okay.
So we for years we started to have more clients in the US in general, West Coast, East Coast. But we had this connection with this client because like it's culture, and at the same time it's party entertainment. It's something which is really dear to us because this is where you start really make a difference for our customers, because it's really precise like UX conversion size to a kind of website, but also a really immersive one. So this felt good. And then, I mean, some potential customers were afraid that maybe being in Europe would be an issue because of time difference.
Yeah.
And so we had this opportunity. It felt like it was time, and so this is why we decided to move. And so far it's working well. It's really like a hub for us, because we're working all over the US so far. And yeah, hopefully it's going to keep on doing great in the future.
This is awesome.
So I would say this for the website side, and maybe entirely different side. So we do a lot of branding too, which is maybe harder to show here. So most of the websites you've seen here, actually, we worked on the branding as well and to make the thing complete. So we don't just jump in over the UX and UI, but we try to take everything, because this is how you make really a consistent experience.
Okay.
And so when we can dig over the storytelling, because this is something which is really important for us, I'm going to speak about it later on, because basically my conference about emotion in design is something which we feel is a big game changer, and even more with AI coming so big in the future, we feel like there's a place, and we tend to forget that we're human beings and we need to connect. And so we try to do also sometimes some video work. So typically this one, we saw the app, the music app. This is for the same client called Revelator.
That's the one in Israel?
Yeah, it is. They're doing, it's pretty complicated because they have like two sides, but basically
and that's
they're
a web
providing...
experience or a movie?
This is a video. This is...
it was just a video that you produced?
Yeah. Idea is that those guys are helping artists, labels, and distributors to centralize everything regarding music. Now you have, like you have Spotify, you have Apple Music, you have Google, you have a lot of actors, and with their system, everything is in the same backend. Artist just uploads one single source, everything gets distributed everywhere.
Oh, it's awesome.
So commission to think about a way to, in an abstract way, explain what they were doing to potential investors in the future as well. And so this is kind of problem which is pretty complicated to think through, but really interesting and challenging because there's this kind of a rhythm that you have to keep having.
So you have like also motion designers in-house, or like how is the team like composed? Like when it comes to design,
Yeah.
you are the creative director.
Yes, so I'm head of design. I've been since I joined. So I joined as a partner 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
And started to rebuild the team from there. So you knew the company
Yeah, before. Yeah.
before, and it's true that we started with like more local clients, and I came in this kind of a perspective to want to extend internationally and to try to do different things. During the same year, we opened Super, which is doing interactive installations, and the Kick. So it was kind of a process. And so in between, we hired. So now we have brand designers.
Branding,
I would say
identity.
so it's 2 people for identity.
2 people, okay.
We have 2 full-time senior art directors,
Okay.
plus myself.
Okay.
So the design team is pretty short.
Pretty light, yeah.
We are together at the office. I think we're something like 35 people now.
Yeah. So you have like interactive developers.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we have front end, we have back end, we
Yeah.
have 2 full-time UX designers as well because.
Okay.
With the kind of clients we have today, like the
Yeah.
bigger ones, they need a lot of data analysis, a lot of work on that side.
Research.
Analysts, back-end developers, project managers. I mean, typical structure for an agency, I would say.
Awesome.
So yes, and maybe this one can be interesting. It's just, this was a prototype. We like to do some R&D when we can, which is not every day, sadly, but
Okay.
this came as a project. Wait, full screen. Which is here. This came as an idea 2 years ago, I think. We never really. I mean, we have a working prototype, but we stopped there. We said, okay, this is what we wanted to see. The idea is that for another event, because we're doing interactive installations, we took a lot of pictures of a lot of people. And we started to wonder what would the average face of a human being would look like if he would be to. And so we did kind of a web version of it. I think it was like 2 years ago now, and we left it there. So those are like pretty new because we left them on the computer, and just before coming here, I was like, okay, maybe I should just dig them out. But the idea was that you get on a website, webcam is starting, automatically your face is recognized.
Okay.
And then
directly in the browser. Wow.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And then based on the features, is going to the algorithm is going to blend the different faces that you had, and at the end you have the mixed results.
The data. Okay.
And
Belgium,
all around,
Switzerland.
exactly.
Wow.
You can see the countries and the division between sex. Because prior, this is the first screen actually, it was in the wrong order.
But you ask
exactly.
Okay, who are you, some information about the user, and then you can do the average with the profile. Wow,
the thing is that we thought that if we could push it further, if you have enough data at some point in the database, you can even anticipate. So if you have enough women, enough men, enough age and everything, with machine learning, you can start to plan without actually asking for information beforehand. So it was all about us having a huge database of people, and it's why we say, okay, it's a lot of energy. It was interesting. It was entertaining to see it.
And you had over like 4,500 people. I mean.
No, this was the
okay.
Actually the thing is running. I think I'm not sure.
Let me connect you on the web, maybe.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's try this Wi-Fi. We'll see if it works. Okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, I miss the AZERTY keyboard.
Are you used to it?
Now I have a QWERTY because I moved to the US, but before I was using an AZERTY. Yeah.
When I switch, I'm always...
always confused, right?
Yes.
So you have to understand the pain here, is that when you open Photoshop, for instance, and you want to do a select all, like Command A, it becomes Command Q, so you quit everything. Or when you want to do like undo, like Control Z, it becomes Control W, so you close the window. So the 3 letters that are not in place, they create huge problems. So when you switch from a French keyboard to a US one,
I think the
Oh my God.
Wi-Fi is dying. Maybe it's not the best.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can check to result directly if it would be lighter.
Okay. We could try. Yeah.
If you have a better, but I'm not sure. But
Yeah. I have like a wire one, but I need the adapter for you.
it's but if your computer is a wire.
Oh yeah. Let's
Maybe you
let's
can go
try
on the
on
same
this
address.
one. Yeah. Let's
Pretty
try on
simple
this one.
normally.
Yeah, but it's not USB-C.
Yeah, sorry
It's
about
not the
that.
same adapter. Okay, so it's
FOH.dogstudio.be, and you can even go to result directly. It's going to be, and normally you should see what's currently in the database.
yeah. Can you see this one? Here we go. So that's
That's just a prototype. We had like 72
That's-
people, and I think we stopped at
that's a
some
prototype
point
running.
taking new. If you manipulate the,
okay. So what is this? Oh, that's the
You-
timeline.
yes, you can go back and you can see less people until you get to the first
Wow.
one.
Who is
Really?
the first one?
Actually, this is already a mix of like I would say 3 people. There's the creative dev who worked on it. There's part of my face here, and I would say another lead front end from the team.
So that's more like the average person in Namur.
This is kind of average person in
I
the
can
mirror,
see
yeah.
when Gilles comes in. Yeah.
There's
not
Mathieu in
there.
there, definitely.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No, there is Gilles.
Most probably. So yeah, that's. I mean, there's a lot of things to say. We do a lot of different stuff, but as long as we can innovate and try to get this extra design mile, we're happy.
Okay. Now this is great. Maybe we can check other products that you have. Yeah. Should we check on the website?
Yeah,
What
we
do you
can.
think?
So yeah, dogstudio.be or .co. I think we make a redirection lately. Yes. Weirdly, you don't have the menu though. Go up. Ah,
Yeah, here we go.
Because you're full screen. If you go in projects, so this is like the website from 2015. This is why it lived pretty much. But
Still okay. It's still okay.
we can still leave it. Quanta magazine.
Yeah.
It's
So what is it?
a media related website. Quanta, it's a kind of a niche company.
Okay.
Those guys are it's a magazine, it's a science magazine, super cutting edge, always to the top. They're syndicated by big magazines like Wired magazine and Scientific American and all the big names. And they came to us for a rebrand and the website that you can see here, where we had to think how. So we spent a lot of days doing workshops with them in New York, and then figuring out how the experience should be. Fact is, it's really technical. It's not for people who don't know anything about science or physics, or it's really.
So what was your mission for this one? Like what
UX,
was the goal?
UI,
Identity
strategy,
also, or no?
and branding.
Oh, you did the.
We did the
Wow.
rebranding, yeah.
And this typeface is beautiful.
Yeah, it's no display, I think.
Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. And so did you have to make it responsive?
Yeah, sure, of course.
So is it like still a pain? Like I remember like when we started to design like responsive website like 5 years ago, like it was really like a huge pain, you know, like did you find a way to streamline this process to make it responsive, or is it still like a challenge?
So I would say over the last years, what happened with the agency, I think it helped in this, is we worked on a framework and how to speed up the process.
Yeah, right.
And this is part of it. I mean,
You have quite a lot. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 breakpoints.
There's a few breakpoints for
Yeah.
this.
Nice.
But yeah, the idea is that we know it's always a challenge. We know it's a lot of work, and we try to make sure that we
Bichon.
can.
Bichon.
So
is
two of
in
my
the play.
partners.
We're talking about you, Gilles. So it's still, yeah, so you found ways with frameworks to...
Yeah, no, it's still, it's
still, yeah.
When I started working in web design, I remember back then I was doing my slicing myself and my design, my UX and everything, and the more it goes and the more it becomes specialist, and I wouldn't be able to do the slicing anymore.
Yeah.
Like it became way too technical, and so yeah,
That's
Kick
Quanta.
we've seen before. This is the
Yeah,
one from
that's
the
Kick.
year before. La Perle.
Oh, is it a show in Dubai?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Although I think
you got a
it
prize
changed
for
in
this one,
between.
no?
Yeah, this is kind of a like
maybe it's not the
half new version. This is not the very
not
last
yours,
one.
yeah.
No, it's been moved a bit, but I think we still have Dragon online, but it changed as well. If you go back on the listing of projects,
Yeah.
MSI, maybe WFA, more corporate. So this one.
Okay.
This is the World Federation of Advertisers. So it's basically
Wow.
to put it.
Super
It's kind of a
clean.
marketing network for all the biggest brands in the
All
world.
the website this week,
Yeah, too.
they had to update the
After
the
a few days of
policies.
GPDR madness, we are like, we're good. And for example, I think,
Oh, nice.
try going on the bubble with your mouse. Yes.
Wow.
It's like stupid details that like two people are going to see together, but it was part of the concept.
It's part like a. Oh
we
yeah,
really
look at
wanted.
that. Whoa! How did you do that? It's using the
It's
canvas.
Canvas, yeah.
Oh my god.
The idea is that they came to us saying, look, we're working for a lot of brands, so we obviously cannot use pictures. And
Did
we
it
have
on
this
the logo?
logo.
Ah, no.
The logo was theirs, it was a
Don't touch the
rebranding.
logo. And the logo was already
It was
there?
a new one, it was a new one.
Ah, it's a new one also.
So they said, look, all we have is this red circle, what can you do? And
It's
so,
funny because it starts and it has something to do with Japan. Did you see?
Yeah, they have a
Tokyo.
big event every year in Tokyo, yeah.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah, it's-
you can play with that too. I mean, that's good.
I can go in the menu. So we spend a lot of time trying to figure out like what is the best animation and how it could feel.
But you know, like even this detail, like just this, like just behaving like 5 pixels to the right. I mean, it makes such a huge difference.
Aiming for this kind of a reaction.
Wow.
But we know, I would say it's part of the philosophy. We know that for a lot of those details, not many people are going to see it anyway. But we know that this is
that's
what
good.
makes the difference,
Yeah.
and we
That's
put
good.
energy in there anyway. And of all the projects that I've shown so far, actually, are purely CMS manageable. So nothing is static. So the client has.
So what do you
fully-
use in the backend? Is this something that you created?
Here it's a WordPress.
Ah, it's WordPress in the backend.
But,
Okay.
but as you may know, because you knew the company before, we still have our own CMS, which we developed for like 12 years now, 11 years. And we keep on using it for really super custom when we feel like another framework or another CMS would be too heavy.
And there was a question asking, like, can you also do some coding? Or?
Actually, I don't. I don't, but I try, for example, regarding animations, I try to provide with as many directions as I can give. And one thing I'm grateful of is that I've started working web design early enough to use the Flash.
Yeah.
Because it means that I still know a bit of CSS, a bit of HTML, and so it avoids a lot of complicated or painful discussions with front-end developers, because I can inspect the code myself and tell them I want exactly those
UI
numbers.
effect,
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's easier as well to have some conversations sometimes.
Awesome. And we have Francisco in the chat. Hey, Francisco. Francisco, who is ready to go live. He will be live after us with Mac Ryzen, but from San Francisco.
Oh.
So when we will press stop
cool.
streaming, he will start streaming in San Francisco. What is this
Smartblend,
one?
it was a startup in the cosmetics.
Wow, that's
Single page.
That was nice. Let me refresh that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love these transitions.
Added value, right?
It's just using CSS.
It's, I think it's CSS. Maybe there's a bit of JS on this one, right?
Ah, okay.
But mostly we try to, everything which can be done in CSS is going to be done in CSS just to make it
better?
Yeah, and lighter to process too.
Okay.
This company was, I say what because actually I don't know where if they launched in the end. It was on the eve of a Kickstarter campaign launch.
Okay.
And it's cosmetics. Basically, this product is
Oh, yeah.
supposed to help you save some
Look at
money and do your own mix of ingredients for your day and night treatments.
Oh my God, okay.
It's a Belgian company, actually. And
That's good.
I mean, it's cool projects. This is the funny ones.
It's a
small
one
and,
single page website. Yeah. It's awesome. Very clean as usual, responsive, I guess.
I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would be surprised that you find one which is not, but
Who
you know,
knows?
it may happen.
Yeah, and then you can minimize the animations and stuff on mobile, like to preserve
this is
the performance.
Over years, like responsive was at the beginning was pretty small, like, okay, we're going to try to do something, and now it became like, okay, how can we optimize, how can, wait, most of those changed, maybe, no, wait, the VU one still works, I think, can be interesting. This is a cyberbullying one.
Which one is
It's
the VU?
this one, it's an experience.
It's an experience, okay.
Um,
VU, okay.
Yeah, so this is, it's, let me explain. It's TV, internet, phone operator from Belgium.
Okay.
And as they provide internet,
What's the name? A triple play? Triple
play, I think
player
it
or
can,
something?
yeah. The thing is, there were more and more cases of cyberbullying in Belgium, and so they wanted to stand against that, so they did this campaign with the police. It's funny because normally we don't do a lot of campaign work to none, because we know that it's a lot of work and then it's going to be online for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because it's not bringing any value. Like, of course, you're selling more stuff, but this was for a good cause. And so the idea here is that you can get it. There were two sides. This is a real life installation. So those balloons existed. They were like as big, each of them. So it's in a warehouse.
Where was it, in Brussels?
It was near Antwerp.
Okay.
And so we went to shoot during one day. So on each balloon, what you're going to find is hate messages that a girl got, real messages that she got, I think 3 years ago. She committed suicide. She was 15. And she was actually from Namur.
And she was writing messages?
No, so those are the ones she received. So people saying, you're trash, anything like that. And so the website, the purpose is that you have all those balloons. You can wander around. If you over one, you get kind of a text message. You can see what was written on it.
Oh my god!
And then the more you go in the experience, you get deeper. The sound, maybe I guess their sound, right?
Yeah, they have the sound.
The sound is getting more intensive and oppressing.
Okay.
And you have the voice of the father, the actual father of the girl, who's explaining what happened to her. And once you get at the very last level, so at the very bottom, so if you continue until the end. Wait, continue, I think is on top.
The continue, sorry.
Yes, sorry.
I was like, yeah. Go to the floor, escape the balloons.
But there is something, yeah. So you can see your phone, this is your actual phone. And if you continue, you will see, if it's still on normally, I hope the database is still on, you see a wall. So this is actually a wall of the room, but in WebGL we mapped names of people who can sign a manifest saying that you stand against.
I'm against.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have this form, and then after you can do the connect and blah, blah, blah.
And this is where you write the name of Batman in your show reel.
I did exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Bruce
okay.
Wayne. Okay, my name is still there.
Oh, here, Henry,
yeah. I think this is testing environment.
This is an amazing concept. And it's so immersive, it's interactive, everything in the browser.
Yeah.
Really great work. Yeah. Thanks, Henry, for sharing that. And I think it will be time to review some portfolios if you're okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's review some portfolio. Back and hey, here they are. Look. This is them. Hi, Paola. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for your help.
No, I mean, first we want to showcase your work, okay, to our community, and you are attending OFF. Is it the first time you attend OFF?
No, it's the second.
Second time.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you want to introduce yourself, Paola, but you live in London, right?
Yeah. So I'm a freelance graphic designer. I studied in Barcelona in BAU University, which is very close to here, to the museum. And then I moved to London, and after a year and a half working as a designer in a company, I became a freelancer, and now I work between London and Spain. Mm-hmm. Have lots of projects here and some of them there, and well, it's very. I specialize in branding and packaging.
Okay.
That's what I would like to do. Mm-hmm. Even though I do a lot of other stuff like editorial or website, but I would like to focus my career on branding and especially packaging.
Okay.
And more sustainable packagings and all these things.
That's good. Yeah, Henry, who is the creative director at Dogstudio, was saying that they do more than just interactive websites. They do also like branding and identity for customers, so they can do the full experience. So Henry, I will let you go here, and maybe Paola, if you want to present your work, And
Yes. So these are some of the projects that I worked on for the past years. This is the latest I've done. It's a branding identity for a luxury events planner in London.
Okay.
So this is the logo, and the logo is basically her name and the strapline, an extraordinary legacy. And I wanted to make it a bit more personal, so like a signature, because it's something like a bit sophisticated, and I didn't want it to be like, you know, the logo that you can find like everywhere else. This is some of the imagery, the business cards. Like I kept it very simple and just standing out a little bit the details, like the gold for the business card, or like the printed, you know, even the symbol. So she's from Malta, and this is the national flower from Malta. So this is something a bit more personal and more authentic, and from the place that she's born. And so the pattern. These are some invitations. She just started the business, so this is very, very new. Some of the places that she works on, and the gift bag that she gives to the clients when she does events, and much many things. But this is just a little bit the branding and the identity. And I did it together with LIG Productions. It's a company from Chicago, but she actually works in London.
In Chicago.
Is there
Yes.
opening an office in
We have
Chicago?
an office in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the second, this is a project I did in Spain not long ago. It's for a friend who started her own Pilates studio in my hometown. So I did the like from all the branding, the logo, the photography, the advertising.
Nice.
She loved the color, so I had to keep to the turquoise
it's a great
color,
color.
which is very nice. But and I tried to find a little
with
bit
the-
movement
yeah,
with the
playing with the bodies.
composition.
Have you made a project for something to do with dance or something? Or?
Yes, actually, the Kenny Center, which is a
Yeah.
center for performing arts. But yeah, we had a lot of material, like video material mostly,
Video
not
materials.
pictures. Yeah. But yeah.
So she actually does the Pilates classes with these kind of machines, which are very weird and very complicated. And with the branding, I try to take all the different elements of this kind of machine and put it together like very simple, so they make like the logo is composed by all these different elements.
Okay. Can we see the logo again?
And all the symbols for, you know, the toilets or
Yeah.
the different place, they are made with
This
yeah.
system.
They're not here, but
It's been so like almost
Yeah.
industrial. Yeah.
maybe
Nice.
there should be one. No, I like this.
It's okay.
Okay. This is a branding, packaging, and product photography for a company in Amsterdam. They launched this product, I think, last year. And
And you did the photography?
yeah, the product photography. So
Not
basically,
easy.
if you could see the place where I did it, it was in my bedroom, I think, in a very small table, and just with. I went to Sri Lanka. I found this rock, and I just put this rock here. Some, you know, like anything I could find that could make it look good. They're very tiny products. They're made of hemp, so the packaging had to be completely opaque, and they wanted to be a bit like luxury, so very simple, and just standing out, you know, the flavors of the products. And then next one is Nomad. It's a cafe in Sri Lanka, in Waligama, and I did all the branding for them and the menu design. And they wanted a business card with a location, which is, you know, kind of small, but since in Sri Lanka you don't have good connection and it's very difficult to find the places.
You need Google Map on the
yeah.
business card.
You don't have to pay for it.
And you try to pinch to zoom in.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it.
So they did this kind of really lovely breakfast and brunches, and you know, very very cool actually. And this is very simple. This is a bottle of wine, a label for new Spanish wine,
Okay.
and the meaning is moon scents. So I completely changed the brief that they gave me because they wanted like a lot of things, like a child with the light and the moon reflected onto the sea, and I was like, no. I am very minimal, and I thought, well, if it's the essence, it should be like, feel like a little bit.
The
You're
texture of
feeling
the
like,
moon.
yeah. So I tried to play with this. It is handmade, and then I digitalized it, and I made this kind of cool colors.
Almost like golden
Gold foil,
foil.
Yeah. And I kept it like very very simple, and we have like different colors for different the different wines.
It's very good.
It is still a product to. They still have to launch it. They're just tasting it for now and going to different fairs. But I think even though it's very different from the initial brief, I think they're quite happy with it. So it's good. This is like very old and very
That's good.
corporate. It's for Performance and Risk Association. It's an event and training for finance people, and it's from when I was a permanent designer in London in an events company. So I was doing all this corporate stuff and trying to make it look a little bit more fun than
Yeah.
it can be.
It's not easy. Yeah. You have some corporate clients too, no? At the agency. Like,
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, we have kind of all kind of clients. We have to. It's difficult to say as an agency that you can live only on like clients that you really want to have. Absolutely. Like I would say like the funny ones. But this, I mean, even with corporate clients, you can find something interesting to do, and this is why we always take it as a challenge. And sometimes or even often they turn out to be way better than what like you would think that they could. So that's good.
So this is Margin Parsons, which is a state agent in London.
Okay.
And basically they have this awesome marketing campaign.
That's right.
And I was just there for some time, just helping them with putting all the stuff together for the marketing,
Okay.
for Facebook, Twitter, banners for events, everything. This is a very simple website I did for a new party supplier in London. She is a woman that sells all different stuff for children parties. And you can buy like online all these things. And this is a brand identity for a startup in London, which is Spanish food, like healthy and Mediterranean. And I didn't do the logo; they just had the logo, and I developed the rest of the identity. So this is like a Spanish fan,
Okay.
and I did like all the illustrations and make it a little bit more handmade, because in that moment I felt like it was like very digital kind of look, and since they do the food like handmade and it's Spanish, we spend a lot of time like doing lunch and everything. So
What would you do for a brand that deals with Belgium food or Belgium? Do French fries,
No, I mean
waffles.
It's so expected that actually, you know what I mean. Like I think we would try to do something just different so that people think about it.
A hot dog.
and this is for example for the cup when it's small, medium, or large, like playing with the
That's
fan
cool.
and the logo.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh, nice.
And yeah, they're
Very
doing
nice
different
signage.
fairs.
Very easy to
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah.
And this is some of my
Okay,
portfolio.
cool.
Well, here
Yeah.
behind.
What type of feedback, like if you would have to hire Paola in your team, what would you say?
But indeed, as you said yourself, like you're pretty minimalistic in the way you approach different projects. One funny thing, because I know that it's always difficult to have the right pictures, but I can recognize a few mock-ups that I've seen, because of course, like to display your work is always complicated, and so the mock-ups is always a tricky one, because we know that everybody uses always the same mock-ups, and so it's like this. Okay, but I've seen that somewhere else. But I also know that it's difficult to shoot your own products, although you can now buy like super small studios, which don't cost much. But of course, it's like the printing of the business cards and everything can be pretty expensive at the end of the day.
Oh, and
This one was shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very nice. Like this one is very nice picture.
Yeah, I don't actually. I mean, I can do photography, and I did the photography for
Yeah.
the Pilates studio and for this, but I don't want to, sell myself as a photographer because I am
Yeah.
not, and I don't want to. Even though I enjoy doing these small projects, especially when it's packaging and products, but I don't want to. I want to design the packaging, not only do the photography. And when I
Yeah.
can do everything, for me it's
Yeah, it's
good.
great.
Yeah.
But there are some agencies like we had on Adobe Live an agency called Farm Design,
Yeah.
and they do packaging like a lot, like you with identity and stuff. But they always take their own pictures just for the Behance profile, so they don't even
Yeah.
use it for the
Okay.
customer.
Yeah.
But they will like, or when they do editorial design, they will like take the magazine and put it with a beautiful background and take the pictures because, so maybe like you don't want to become a professional photographer, but it can be a huge creative asset for you
Yeah.
to PR yourself, to market
Yeah,
yourself,
that's
because
true.
you know like how
Yeah.
to master the light and have an impact with photography. So that could be awesome actually.
But sure, a lot of clients are asking for branding, but sometimes they don't go the full way, so they don't print everything. Sometimes
Yeah.
you think about this, maybe we should do a few more extras so that we can shoot it and we can keep it. And it's true that it's value for you at the end of the day. So,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
that's cool. And for the rest, actually, you spoke about the colors here. And
Yeah.
this is what can be interesting is that it's a bit different, a bit less expected than
Yeah.
what we could get for this kind of clients. The depth is interesting in the way you use it. The only thing I'm a bit surprised that as you use drop shadows, it kind of gives you a hint that there's a depth in the scene. So it would mean that there's a wall here, but as it's going front and back, then what I mean the shadows here, for example, typically should be way bigger because it means that the E is here and the other layers are there. But those are details. It's I think it's part sometimes of, especially when you use shadows and light, making sure that your scene has a consistency and makes sense from A to Z if it was actually really shot with those layers floating in the air in the room. But
Okay.
that's cool to think about using like
Yeah.
the body in between and to try to integrate the whole thing and
And it's still easy to read. So
Yeah.
yeah.
this is cool too. Like
Your vouchers.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot always do it because if the client is too big, of course, not going to handwrite everything. But having like space for someone to put something more personally, and you could even maybe push it further and have even less information, have some information like the name of the person giving the course or something. Just making sure that it's personal, so that people, when they go there, don't have the feeling that they're just going to a company, but that they're going back to family. Like those
Yeah.
kind of touches when you can have them is great. So this is already going the right way. Those pictures you shot, or it's
Yeah, I did the shot.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
some
so-
of the interior, like there's only one
Those two?
picture here, but I mean all the colors and well, just a little bit.
Interior design.
Yeah, a little bit.
What else do you have that? The wine. I'm interested by the fact that this indeed conveys. So the layer spacing is interesting when you want to give some kind of elegance to something. It's like kind of an easy trick. You don't need much. You have here the serif font plus the layer spacing. It really does kind of the job. Like the reflection should maybe have a bit less. If it's like this,
Yeah.
it shouldn't behave exactly like that.
Isn't it?
But
It's close.
should maybe stretch it or and
Yes. Okay.
easy trick too is maybe
And
just
the light, I see.
if you fade it, if you fade it at some point, it's going to feel a bit less. But I mean, once again, those are
Yeah.
details for the.
Just to understand the design. So yeah.
But and the concept is interesting. I think on every project you can find that you make some work to find not just like, okay, I'm going to jump on my Illustrator and then
Yeah.
do a logo and then come back to you, but try to tell a story, which is what it's all about in the end. So this is good.
And it's good also that you went against customer brief.
Yeah.
The customer like coming to you and say, okay, this is what I want. We do this, the child and stuff, and said no.
Yeah,
That's
I know sometimes it's tricky to talk to the customers about changing their idea, but I try to do it very often.
Yeah. Do you have any tips? Like, how do you deal with customers?
Yeah, how do you do?
Customers who don't want to get your ideas, or customers when you feel like their idea is bad? Because
Yeah, when the idea is bad.
I think it's like any customers that need to be heard. So, like from the start, saying like this is a no-go, it's complicated. So you have to at least to try to take their point of view and to understand how it is. I mean, it's kind of a leap of faith sometimes too. Like trying to, you know that. If your briefing is that they absolutely want that, if you feel like it's not going to work, you're going to tell them once. If they don't want, you're going to tell them twice. At the third time, you're going to say, look, you're the customer, it's your project, my role, you pay me to tell you that this is not going to work according to our experience. But at the end of the day, you still decide. It's still your money, it's still your project. So if you want to go that way, let's go that way, but at least you heard. So I think informing the client is always the best way to do it. And then I would say sometimes you can do 2 tracks. You play safe on one, which is going kind of this way, and you try to make it as good as it can be. And then you go with something entirely disrupting, which is what you wanted to push all along. And sometimes just having the confidence, and it's a lot of clients sometimes are also being scared of the perspective of something that they don't know. When they give you an idea, because they think they understood what was going to work best, and it's hard for a lot of clients to project themselves in a project in the result and say, yeah, what you tell me is going to look great. Sometimes you just have to show them, and if you have a safe one and a disruptive one, often they're going to go for the edgy one and say, oh, actually, maybe this is what I needed all along. So, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Paola.
Thank you.
For coming.
Thank you both.
Thanks. And enjoy the conference.
Thanks
for the great work, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks. Hope to see you around.
Bye, Paola.
Bye.
Okay, and we have just a few minutes also to review the work of Sari.
Yeah.
Product designer, UX, UI.
Which is more, yeah, exactly.
Okay, which one should we address? Usually, I know that recruiters, they check the first one.
Which makes sense.
Let's do that.
I guess in general, you don't leave in your portfolio things that you don't like to show. So.
Come and play the app-based OTT service. Okay. Now on TV. So yeah, what would
what
be
is
your...
this? Yeah, it's an app for TV viewing.
Yeah, OTT, so what is it? On
messages on demand.
Over the top. Okay, so maybe it doesn't translate for us. So maybe, Sari, it would be okay to add a definition of over the top, because like Henri and myself, like
maybe I should be ashamed that I should know about
sorry, we don't know what it means. Program card, okay. So what do you think about this, like when you present an experience about deconstructing
the project?
Yeah.
It's always interesting to give kind of an inside view of what's been through your mind while you were building the product.
That's like showing before and after, yeah. So what would be awesome would be to show the before and after, but
in the same
view. So we don't have to scroll and we understand the evolution. This is a tricky component, like working on the schedule. I know that, it's very hard. And okay, that's what I wanted to see.
Is it Swedish?
Yeah, I think so. No? We go in the about section after to be sure. Yeah, always better when it's alive. Like if you can record a video and add Tom and Jerry, bonus points. Yeah, it's a big project. I mean, you can tell that there are a lot of screens.
Work
and program cards. Okay, cool. And let's try to understand where Sari is from. Plus 46.
I don't know, it should be Scandinavia, but I don't know which one.
Oh, yeah.
There was a LinkedIn.
Let's check on LinkedIn. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Unibet, that's a big company. Okay, let's try Unibet. Oh, login optimization. So I guess he worked just on the login experience. Choose the login method, email, bank ID, or touch ID.
Maybe it's, Denmark,
Sweden.
Finland.
Oh, yeah, so in the Nordics.
It's
for
still
sure.
like Nordics in general, yeah.
Forgot password, okay. I mean, what's interesting here is that you see that even for a very small experience, such as like identify yourself, you had to go through a lot of screens, a lot of use cases. Before, okay.
I wonder if those are actual projects for a company or if it's like unrequested redesign to try to improve.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but in this case, yeah, just make sure to be super transparent, okay, and tell us if it's a redesign project. Oh, I'm pretty sure he worked for Nibet a lot because you see, he was maybe an in-house designer actually.
Maybe.
And icon design. Okay, let's see. Application icons for Nexus. The previous icons, the symbols. Okay.
Speaking of the Adobe suite.
Yeah, reminds me something. Reminds me of the mnemonic of Adobe. It's a nice tribute. Yeah. Huh. What is this? Even the typeface is similar. But in terms of contrast, I mean, everything works, of course. But this, yeah, if you speak to a designer audience, they can be confused. Like if I see PR in blue like this, I can be like between Photoshop and Premiere Pro, I can be confused. So it really depends on your audience in this case. But thanks for sharing your work, Sari. Henri, I wish you good luck for your presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, it will be in about 30 minutes. He will present all the work of Dogstudio, and thanks for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.
On the stream.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, will you be around tomorrow?
Actually, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, so
you'll
probably
leave
not.
morning.
Yeah, I will be around after my conference to, I guess, take a drink and chill out a bit.
That's cool. Okay, everyone, stay tuned because we will be back in 5 minutes. But from San Francisco, this is the last day of the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge with Mark Ryzen. And I think he's still working on the music app. So we'll see how he will connect all these screens together. And we will be back from off tomorrow with amazing speakers, including Stefan Sagmeister, who will be on Adobe Live for the first time. So we're super excited, okay? Okay, see you in 5 minutes from San Francisco. Bye, everyone.
Bye.